Well, hey everybody, happy Friday, coming to you live from my office on day 30 of the 30-day no booze experiment that I started on July 12th of last month. And when I first started, I thought I couldn't do it. And that's the reason I started it, because I thought I couldn't do it. And here I am on the very last day, and I'm doing great. I had a hunch when I started that I would be fine and that I would see some benefit, but I was also like a little skeptical. I'm like, it's just alcohol, how bad could it be? What could it actually be doing? But after 30 days, I'm feeling better. I have more focus. I've been able to work longer hours without hitting a wall. I'm lighter. I'm 5 pounds down on the scale, and at least 1 inch down on my waist. I haven't really measured anything else, but my clothes are fitting better. It's crazy. I'm seeing definition of my abs. I was having a little bit of like an issue with some cellulite on my abs, which is really uncommon for me. And I don't have that anymore. It just like went away. I don't know. But I had done the math before, and I had calculated that I was consuming at least 4, possibly 6,000 calories of just alcohol a month. And that doesn't include any extra food that I would eat as a result of it, both for hangovers or just being hungry. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but if you drink a lot at night and then you go to bed, even if you eat a lot the night before, if you drink, you are starving in the morning. And so I would have to eat in the morning. Normally I kind of do intermittent fasting till noon or 1 o'clock. And I feel like my blood sugar has stayed so much more stable since giving this up. And it's definitely not going to be forever. I don't see myself never drinking alcohol again, but I can tell you without a doubt that I'm going to be so much more mindful of it. I caught myself really wishing I could drink the other day. And then I just had to sit there for a minute, and I just asked myself, I'm like, why do I want to drink? Why? And ultimately I decided it was because I needed to change my mood. But then I was like, okay, well, how else can I change my mood? Why am I in a bad mood? Let's talk about this. And so I ended up taking Buffett for a walk, and I just talked to myself for like 30 minutes. I was just my own best friend, just talking myself through the issues going through my mind. And I've done a lot of jumping on my trampoline to wake myself up and to kind of take the edge off after a long day. I've been drinking a lot of water, a ton of water, and yeah, just feeling so good. And the frustration that I have is, why didn't I do this sooner? Because if I had known how quickly I would drop the stubborn, pesky pounds I've been wrestling with for years, I haven't seen, I'll just tell you, 143 on the scale in like 4 years, like probably not since 2014, maybe 2015, but I doubt it. It's pretty crazy. And I really don't go by the scale a lot. I just occasionally will, hop on just to kind of gauge where I am over the long term. But I definitely have lost some weight. Probably initially it was water, but I mean, just seeing how everything's kind of shrunk down and doing the math and the calories that I was consuming in alcohol, it makes sense. There's 3,500 calories in a pound, and to kind of give you some perspective, like a pound is, imagine this is like 3 days. So it's like size of a grapefruit. That's 1 pound of fat. That's how much space it takes up. And so even if I just lost 1 pound, that would have made a significant difference on my body. But I'm guessing out of the 5 pounds I lost on the scale, at least half of that is from fat. I'll take it regardless. I'm feeling really good. And ironically, it wasn't weight loss that I was after. It was just feeling better and just seeing what happens and overcoming this obstacle, this self-made obstacle that I couldn't do it. The thought of it was just like, oh my gosh, it's too hard, because it was such a habit. Drinking was such a habit. Any bad day, I'd be like, oh, I'm just going to pour myself a cocktail, make a margarita. People come over, let's have a drink. We're going out, let's have a drink. Friends are in town, let's have a drink. Like there's any reason at all to have a drink. So I know that my habits are going to stay not as like no alcohol, but I'm going to be more mindful. I'm probably not going to drink much beer anymore because beer is so heavy. If you've ever tried to drink a beer on a full stomach, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, what's the point, you know? Plus, there's so little alcohol in it. So if you're drinking alcohol for the buzz, it's kind of pointless because there's hardly any alcohol in beer unless you get like a 9% beer, which probably doesn't taste very good. I don't know. It depends on your taste, I guess. But just I want to be very mindful and just like stick with one drink. And I think Ben is too. Ben almost gave up the other day. And he could probably hear me talking about this, but he was like, it was like day 28. And he was like, oh man, you know how many days we have left? And I was like, 2. And he's like, oh, let's just, I'm just going to quit now. I just want to drink now. And I'm like, no, don't you do it. You don't want me to be telling everybody that you quit. I'm telling everybody he almost quit now. But I got him to say, okay, let's not do it. And so he didn't quit either. I'm proud of him. It was, and it's funny because I thought I was going to be the one that he was going to have to talk off the ledge, right? And it was the other way around. So that's actually big for me because I've tried to stop drinking before and I gave in like on day 3 or day 4, but this time I knew it was going to be different because I felt convicted. I was like, this is something that's hard and I don't want to do it because it's hard. And that's the reason I wouldn't do it, because I'm not the kind of person who just says, oh, it's hard, I'm not going to do it. You know, I've seen that over and over again in my community. I did that for years. You know, I didn't want to start a blog because I thought it was too hard. I didn't know how to do it. And I don't know how, or it was too hard as an excuse to not just do it. And so now I'm approaching things like giving up alcohol or making any positive change in my life as an experiment. What would happen if ... What would happen if I did the thing that I said I can't do? What would happen if I did the thing that is hard? That's how I started the plank experiment back in March, which, by the way, I got to a point where I was like, okay, I don't feel like I need to overcome this plank thing anymore. So I stopped recording my planks after 125 days. More than 4 months of recording planks, I finally said, you know what? This feels really arbitrary. This feels like, and I'm still doing planks. Isn't that crazy? I've built it into where I actually want to do planks. I'm doing workouts with planks in them and I'm not like afraid of it anymore. It's something I really enjoy. So it's been a journey, and I know that the journey with alcohol is just beginning. Several people in my community, Monica, my hairstylist, Rick, Lisa, you know, a lot of us have been on this journey together, and it's been really cool not to have to do it alone. But also my results, I think, have encouraged other people to give it a shot as well. It's something so simple, but it makes so much sense. I mean, especially if you are trying to drop weight, and that's not the original reason I did it. I had a hunch that I might see some, you know, negligible results, but not the way I've seen. But it makes so much sense. If you're really trying to lose weight, guess what processes out the burnt fat? Your liver. But if it's busy with alcohol, I mean, that's how you destroy your liver, is too much alcohol over time, you know. So if you're trying to lose weight but you're drinking at the same time, then your liver is going to process the alcohol first because it's much simpler than fat to process and it has no purpose in the body. So it goes straight to your liver. Your liver is working on that. And so if you're drinking consistently, even if you're not drinking a lot, I never considered myself an alcoholic, never considered myself addicted, but I was drinking a little bit consistently. And so it was hard for me to drop a few pounds when I needed to, because my liver was constantly processing some form of alcohol through it on a regular basis. So it makes so much sense that I would see some weight loss because, hey, my liver is not occupied. And it can do what it's supposed to do, which is, you know, burn off fat when I have too much of it, you know. And I definitely got to the point where like my clothes were too tight. And so it was probably a little bit too much. And you just kind of can gauge. That's why I really don't go by the scale. It's like, how comfortable are you, you know, with what space you're taking? Just have this awareness of what space you're taking up and how comfortable you are in your clothes, how it feels to move. And those kinds of things are what I keep an eye on. And so I'm finding myself kind of, you know, floating, and it just feels easy to walk, and I don't feel as tired, and just with a few pounds difference. And so, but just the energy too. I'm just sleeping better when I would drink, even if I didn't drink a lot, which was not often. I didn't drink a lot very often, but even with just like 1 or 2 drinks at night, I would fall asleep, you know, and you kind of fool yourself into thinking that it helps you sleep because, you know, you fall asleep relatively quickly, but you don't stay asleep. And I would wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning and not be able to go back to sleep. And now I'm sleeping all the way through the night. You know, maybe every other night I got to get up and go pee because I drink a lot of water during the day, or sometimes just before bed I drink water. And so that makes sense. But the quality of my sleep, the amount of sleep I need. It's easier to get up in the morning. I'm not as groggy. So when my alarm goes off, I don't lay in bed for an hour as often. I mean, sometimes I do, but it's been easier. It's been easier to get up, and then I just have more energy throughout the day, and it's been amazing. So I'm gonna have a drink tomorrow, probably a margarita, one, because I really like margaritas, and I'm serving some Mexican food to some guests that are coming over tomorrow. And I'm interested to really see how it affects me. I want to see how my tolerance has gone down, because when you drink a lot, or often I should say, your tolerance for the alcohol goes up. And so to get the same effects, if you drink for a buzz like I did, to take the edge off or whatever, it takes more and more over time for that same effect. And so I'm wondering just how much one margarita, and I make them pretty strong, but one margarita will affect me tomorrow, with the knowledge I have now of, hey, I felt so good without alcohol, so let's not drink as much as possible, because I know I don't need it. I've proved to myself that I don't need it to have fun and enjoy myself. I've had a lot of fun in the last 30 days, and I haven't had a drop of alcohol. I've actually had more fun in the last 30 days than I've had in my, I don't know, the last 3 months probably before that, without alcohol. And so that was a big point of the experiment as well, is to prove to myself that I didn't need it, because that was a reason that was hard for me to give it up in the first place, was like, I feel like I need it to like take the edge off and like anxiety and stuff. And you guys know I've been using CBD to help with anxiety, and that's been life-changing as well. I'm going to keep doing that. And who knows what other benefits I'm getting from CBD, but all I know is that it's keeping my anxiety way down during the day. My moods are more level, hormonally, things are more balanced. I don't feel as irritable or overwhelmed or stressed out during the day. It's just been fantastic. So what a journey, and it's just beginning. I'm more encouraged now than I expected I'd be, to look for other things, other ways. And I actually, cut back on desserts too. So that was kind of a thing. I'm like, okay, I can do the alcohol thing. What else can I do without? And it's not that I don't have desserts. Got these little chocolate things that, chocolate wedges from Trader Joe's. You guys, ones by the checkout line. Some of you guys that have Trader Joe's have seen these. The extra dark chocolate ones, I really like those. But I've stopped baking as much for nobody. Like I would bake for myself, and Paris, my assistant, would have some, and anybody coming to hang out at the house during the week would have some. But ultimately, I'd end up eating most of it, and because I didn't want to go bad, right? And so now I've just kind of cut back to only having desserts when I have company, a significant company. I can send them home with leftovers, and then freezing leftover dessert as well into individual containers, just to make portion control easier. And so I'm just excited to see, what's my next challenge going to be, because it's kind of become fun. It started with the plague experiment, and then now with the alcohol thing, and then reducing desserts and CBD and everything. It's become fun to kind of figure out, how good can I feel? I wouldn't even call myself addicted, but it's become fun, and it's a challenge to see how, without getting obsessed about it, okay, how good can I feel without making it my life, without being obsessive, without taking it to extremes, right? Because I eat whatever I want. I'm about to go eat some pizza. I eat whatever I want, but I listen to what my body says, and I know that if I go and I eat an entire pizza, I'm gonna feel like garbage. And so that's that's gonna keep me from, overeating. And that's been an ongoing journey too. And for another video, we can talk about overeating, but listening to your body and doing things for future you, because now now me never wants to do the right thing, never wants to do the healthy thing. It's always like, oh, it's so comfortable right now, I don't want to get out of bed. Then I think about me in an hour, looking back on me an hour ago, right? Future me is going to be real happy that I got out of bed now. I think about who I'm going to be in an hour, just in an hour's time, and that makes me get out of bed. So I don't do it for now me, because now me is lazy, I don't know what. But I know who I can be, and so that's why I make the decisions I make, even if it's hard. And it's fun, because it's like, there's never going to be a time where I'm like, okay, I'm going to regret getting out of bed when I know I should. I'm going to regret, jumping on my trampoline today. I'm going to regret not drinking alcohol for 30 days. All these good things in our lives that we can do for ourselves, we're never going to regret any of them. They're really hard to start sometimes. But when you see the results and you realize that consistency is what's going to get you results, it's not the extremes. It's not the insane stuff that is not sustainable for your life. Any kind of lifestyle change you're going to make, it has to be sane and has to be simple and has to be sustainable, right? That's why, like, I have a Vitamix blender, but I don't make smoothies. I use the powder, superfood powder, and just dump it in a blender bottle and shake it. It takes me 30 seconds because I know that it's not going to fit in my lifestyle to make a giant raw food smoothie every morning. It's just not. And so I figure out what works for me to where it's a no-brainer. It's so simple that I can't fail. And the only thing I changed in my life for the last 30 days was not drinking alcohol, and I've gotten amazing results. So I'm now just kind of thinking, what other simple things can I do to get results without going crazy? Because when we go crazy and we try to bite off more than we can chew, that's when we get overwhelmed and we quit and we feel like failures. So slow and steady wins the race. Sometimes you have to slow down to speed up and not try to do everything all at once, because if it's not going to work for your lifestyle, then it doesn't matter how good the diet works. Like if you do it for 30 days, whatever, you drop a bunch of weight and it's like you're seeing these results, but then you hate it so much that you can't do it for the rest of your life. How good does it actually work, right? So you've got to figure out something that's going to work for you long term. And something that's not crazy. So, all right, got off on some tangents there, but hopefully that was helpful. And I am just so excited that I made it to the end of 30 days. Obviously I have to make it through today, the rest of today. And then, I mean, I'm not going to make myself a Bloody Mary in the morning or anything. I've got some guests coming over at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and we're going to have a margarita. I'm going to have a margarita tomorrow. And as part of the experiment, to just see how I feel and see how I sleep that night, and just really monitor the effects that it has on my body, because that's going to be really telling, you know, to have a very clean system. And then what happens when I put the poison back in, you know, because it is a poison. And that's what I had to own up to and admit, you know, it's been a carcinogen, recognized carcinogen since 1988, but it's such a part of our society and so socially accepted that nobody really talks about it, and nobody really realizes, because it's so ingrained in our society, nobody really realizes what damage it could be doing, even in some would say non-habit forming amounts, right? But it was definitely a habit for me. And it takes a lot of power. You get a lot of power when you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, what you're doing is not good, and we're going to fix it, and we're going to do it together, you know, me, myself, and I. You have a lot of power when you can look at yourself in the mirror and be honest. And so if there's something in your life that you know is not good for you and you really got to kick it, or something's got to change, you know, there's so much power when you can look at yourself and be like, you're the problem, but you're also the solution.